And also, I'm going to need you to update your slides with your official title from now on, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Before well, actually, when you introduce yourself, add it in there. Weston will do, because I know what she's talking about. Weston's going to do our intro, and then after Victoria turns it over, it'll be your shows, Chelsea.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to MS Office Hours. It is Thursday, October 5th. Let me please introduce our hosts.
Hey, everybody. Heather Cox here.
Hi there, Stephanie Stevens.
I'll let you go, Andrea, just because.
I'm Andrea Sangrio. Sorry, I always go last. I was waiting.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Dean, and we have with us today Chelsea Thompson. We worked together previously when I was a modern work tech specialist, and Chelsea was a security tech specialist, I guess, at that time. So lots of changes have happened. Chelsea has gone on and get more degrees. She also has had a role change within Microsoft, but all in all, I think she is an invaluable resource to Microsoft because she makes security make sense to folks like myself and obviously those of you on this call that leverage our products and security tool set. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Dr. Chelsea Thompson.
All right, I have to do this thing that y'all are doing. I'm Chelsea Thompson. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, I'm Chelsea. I heard you all were a fun group, so I'm going to try to make this as fun as possible. I got my buddy right here. This is CC, aka Chelsea Jr. She's joining us today. And yeah, our goal today is to talk about security. I'm going to do my best to not name drop Microsoft products and to make this just fun and something you can apply regardless of if you want to use the Microsoft stack or not. I am a fast talker, so if I get too fast, let me know. Ping me, slow down. But to start, I want to make this fun. Let's play a little game. It's called Trick or Treat. I'm going to ask you all 3 questions and see if I'm trying to trick you or if it's true. And whoever gets the most right quickly, I guess, to get bragging rights in the chat window. I can't see the chat window, but we're going to go into this. So the first question. All right, the average school has 6 different cybersecurity products in place. All right, I'm putting 5 seconds on the imaginary timer that I cannot see. So is this a trick or a treat?
We got yes from Craig. Leach says this is false. Dwayne thinks it's more than 6.
Hey, we need trick or treat, y'all. Okay. She was having
Play the game.
So we got some treats, and we have. Well, I don't know if I can say.
We got a lot of tricks.
All right. We got a lot of tricks. Okay. Gosh. Okay. Y'all won. Okay. So yeah, the average school has over 10. We've seen as many as 20 different security products in place. The issue is the expectation is for you all to learn all these different products. You got some for EDR, you got some for your firewall, something as a SIEM. Yeah. So good job. I thought I was going to trick you all on that one, but I failed. All right. Next question. With the rise of MFA, traditional methods like receiving an SMS code remain the gold standard for preventing some of these advanced cyber attacks. All right, got my 5 second
lots
timer.
Lots of people saying trick.
Oh my goodness. I tried to make these hard. Now I'm like, all right.
It's because we've got a smart crowd. I mean, maybe that's what we should have told you. These are the best of the best on this call.
I see. Hey. All right. So yeah, traditional methods like the SMS code that we usually use for MFA is no longer the gold standard. We now recommend things like the Authenticator app and hardware tokens. You all might have seen a letter come down from Microsoft the last couple of weeks or a month ago saying, hey, we're trying to stop you all from using SMS codes as a form of authentication because we have seen some major attacks occur because of this. So yeah, last question. All right. Travis Kelce made Taylor Swift famous. This is the big one.
This is, I'm going to go out here and just call it a trick. Call it a trick.
All right.
Oh, Chelsea, that speaks to my heart, girl.
or you can say, I don't know either one of them. I just got on TikTok and it's big right now. So yeah, I more put this as a poll. I'm just trying to see who made who famous right now.
We got a
y'all
lot of
have to
people
tell me.
saying trick.
It's a trick.
We
Okay.
got the Kansas City Swifties.
Oh, okay. I didn't have a real answer for that because I don't know the answer yet, but I now got it for the next time. All right. So today I'm gonna talk to you all about this new initiative that we have going on at Microsoft. It is called a student-led SOC. SOC stands for Security and Operations Center. And one thing I realized at Microsoft is we have a lot of acronyms, or just in cybersecurity in general. And part of my side job is I'm a professor at a college, so I get to teach a lot of students about cybersecurity. And I like to do it with photos and using the imagination. So before I dive into this student SOC initiative and how you all can get involved, whether you're in security or not, this will apply to everyone, I promise. I just kind of wanted to level set and teach you all about some of the terminology that we have using the power of imagination. Uh, so to far left, you all probably have heard of this AV, which really stands for antivirus. So I think of antivirus as this sturdy fence for a school, just like the fence at your schools that you all might have now is supposed to protect unwanted visitors from coming in, right? And the same with AV, it is the computer's first line of defense against these digital cyber threats. But as you all probably know, someone can just easily scale the fence. Someone can easily click the link. So we realized that AV is not enough. And that's when we go to EDR, which stands for Endpoint Detection and Response. And if you're old school-ish like me, you love Hey Arnold. I don't know if anyone remembers that cartoon. But the EDR, I like to think of it like the hall monitor that's patrolling the hallway. So EDR is always on alert. You might have 10 different types of EDRs or in place or whatever you might have. Or so essentially it's that hall monitor who's walking the halls constantly. And they might help every now and then. It might usher a kid over to the right class. But if it's something serious, it might need to escalate the matter. But either way, that hall monitor is always taking notes. So no matter who is on the shift, they're taking notes, and then where are they doing all those notes? Where they're sending it to what we call a SIEM. So a SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. I like to think of it like a fancy library instead of that long word. And all it does is collect information. So they say, hey, give me all the information. I'm going to sort through it. I'm going to find some anomalies, and I'm going to create a nice visual so that you can understand it. And that's where that little PA system comes out, like it's saying, hey, here's all the data, and I'm making this critical announcement about the data that I found. But now that we have that announcement, what are we going to do? And that is where this SOC comes into place. It is a security and operations center. A lot of you might already have a SOC. You just don't call it a SOC, even if you're a two-man shop. I like to think of the SOC like the principal's office. It's the nerve system of the school. And that's where all the strategies are crafted, the key decisions are made, and the actions are coordinated. So if you really want to think deeply about it, all the first three things I talked about are just tools and technologies, right? Whether it's Microsoft or third party, those are just things you have in place. But the most important part is the heart of it, and that's the SOC, which consists of people and process. So that is how we're going to respond, how we're going to implement, what processes do we have in place. And today we're going to focus on this SOC piece, which is people. The people today are going to be students, and then the process is going to be allowing students to help lead your security initiatives within your school. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. If not, it will hopefully by the end of this slide. Now, before we get started, why do you need a SOC? I'm sure you all saw the news where we had a whole casino get taken down, which is like crazy. A little bit about myself. I was formerly on Microsoft incident response team. So when you hear about these major breaches, like some casino, we were the frontline defenders who got to fly out to wherever the attack was and respond to these threats. And a common theme we saw was that people just didn't have processes in place on how to respond to a cyber threat. We saw this with the casino, right? This large organization did not have a process in place to stop the leakage of information, which could have stopped this threat from occurring. And another thing we see is that the schools are the top targeted industry right now. I think for 2 years straight, the number one top attacked industry has been education. So we definitely want to make sure that we have a SOC in place. And why do attackers love schools? Y'all got so much information right now. You have student information, you have academic information, teachers, faculty, all of that stored in one place, and it's easy and up for grabs. So that's why we see attackers going after you all. So a traditional SOC, like I said, you probably already have one. Maybe it's the IT admins who are up in the basement, or maybe they're next door to you, or maybe you are the 1-2-man shop, hopefully more than that. And essentially, you all have a structure in place. You have tools, and you go through the different alerts and triage them and respond based on what you all are seeing. That is a traditional SOC. Now, with this student-led SOC, we incorporate all of that, but we also bring in a learning piece. So we're going to say, hey, let's also teach and train our students so that we give them a learning opportunity to grow from this. And then on top of that, it is a more dynamic structure. So we have students who are coming in and out. You know, we're not keeping, hopefully we're not keeping students for 12 years. And then we are also growing the students, and then finally cost effective. So you might be paying your IT admins, hopefully you're paying your IT admins a nice little salary, but with student talent, it gives us a way to save money, but to also leverage resources we already have readily available. And then here's what I think the definition of a student-led SOC is. I kind of made this up on the whim because it is kind of a new thing. But yeah, it's just a way for students to participate in cybersecurity and grow and respond to threats in real time with a nice safety net. So that is the caveat. We still want you all to have some of those traditional SOC pieces in place. So we still need that senior IT admin somewhere to help as a fallback for the students. All right, so if I can click. And then let's say you're like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing idea. How do I pitch this to my organization? What is the significance around it? The key pieces on this student-led SOC is, for one, it's giving students real-world experience. One of the top things that I hear every college student or high school student say is, when am I going to use this in the real world, right? It's like, this is pointless. Well, if we get them with hands-on experience in a student SOC, I guarantee they will be using that the moment they come out of college or the technical institution that they're in. The next, we're bridging that skill gap, the tech shortage that we have going on. So we're helping students become job ready day one. And we're bringing in fresh perspectives. We know that students, they have innovative approaches and different problem solving skills that we might not have thought about before. Like I mentioned, it's the cost effective. So it can either be free labor or reduced cost labor, but it is a way when you're talking about your budgets, especially in education where it's always shrinking. We have another method to fill the gap, but also not charges or cost us too much. And then my favorite too is the enhanced reputation. This is a new initiative. So we have a few schools that are already doing it. It shows forward thinking. It's a great little news article headline if your school is able to be one of the pioneers and one of the first schools to do this. We've already had 3 schools do this in my territory, and everyone is just eating it up. It shows that you're being proactive, forward thinking about cybersecurity, and also about your students. And then finally, it is free college credit for your students. Whether they're in high school, as we go through the process of this student SOC, you'll start to see with some of the Microsoft exams, you can earn college credit for that. So, and I'm not sure we have our free certification for student that time of year has wrapped back around. I'll have to check, but at least once a year, we have this campaign where we offer free certifications for students. But I do know we do have the reduced costs year round. All right, so diving in just a bit more, this is how, a traditional person will respond to a phishing attack. So the tool's going to get an alert. It's going to trigger the SOC, and someone's going to come in, look at that email, and we'll go through the different life cycle. But the issue is, if we look into an admin console, they're probably going to see 100 alerts a day, something outrageous that you just can't keep up with. And why are we not just leveraging our students, right? Students, what I've seen, they're very smart. They're able to bypass VPNs and firewalls to figure out how to download TikTok. And I think, what's the new thing? I always mess this one up, the Roblox. Students are very creative and smart right now. So being able to leverage them to plug into some of these pieces would be beneficial. So on the alert process, right, we can have the students actively go in and look through the alerts, categorize them with the help of the tool. Most of these cyber tools, they have a built-in sandbox, so the students are able to inspect the emails or inspect the package or whatever's going on in a safe environment that will not have an impact on your institution. And then from there, they can contain it and then also assign it to a senior level person so that it can be triaged and responded to correctly. And the most important part of this is, like I'm gonna keep saying, is that students are getting the valuable learning opportunity. They're not just going to be observing, they're going to be able to engage, analyze, and also respond to different threats. Now, like I mentioned, we do have, I'm going to share some stories about schools who have done this, but here is kind of a blueprint that we've already put together on the process of making this happen. This is just a sample, and this works for K-12 as well as higher ed. So you have your students, they come in as a SOC analyst 1. We treat them just like we treat employees. We start them at level 1. We give them tasks to complete so that they can progress, move to level 2 and level 3. And as they progress, we give them more and more responsibilities, all while making sure that the environment is safe and they don't have too many permissions that they're able to shut down servers or shut down school for a day or anything like that. But each of these pillars, they show the requirements, what the responsibilities are, and then also what the learning or progression criteria is. So how can students move from an analyst 1 to analyst 2? And it gives them the opportunity to see exactly what they need to do so they can progress, that they're motivated, and they have concrete steps. And at the bottom in bold, you see the various exams that we have. And these exams, if they are able to pass them, it is Microsoft's stamp of approval saying, hey, this person is a Microsoft certified cybersecurity expert in SOC. So as they progress through this, it's not just us thinking they're ready, but they're also able to prove that they're ready for the next step. Now on to the customer story. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to get a customer on the call with you all. But we did have Spelman College. They're a school out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they partnered with us starting in December with their journey of moving to Microsoft A5. I said I wouldn't mention a Microsoft product, but I had to there. But moving to A5 and then also building the blueprint for this student-led SOC. And there's their group of, it's an all-girls school, but there's their group of girls who are going to be running this security and the security operations center. And this all started off with a simple sketch on the board, and then they started helping us map it out. We worked with them to say, here are the requirements we think a person would need to be fully vetted and ready. And yeah, we also had some of our industry partners with Foresight IT come in and help us monitor their environment while we're doing the transition phase. Now, what you really need for the student SOC, I think that's the important piece on this. Is not a hard process to start. You don't have to be a cyber expert to start this initiative. I'm going to keep mentioning that. So whether you're the Teams person or you're the Intune person for your organization, you can still help drive this motion. The first thing we need, or you'll need, is leadership buy-in. And that's the hardest part, is to get leadership to say, hey, we give you the stamp of approval to run this initiative. The second piece is some space and devices. Now, selfishly, I would love for it to be Microsoft Surface devices. At Spelman College, we were able to utilize the Microsoft Hub as the central place where students will go in and look at the different alerts, and some Surface devices, Surface laptops, was what they would use to respond to it. But you'll need space and then devices for the students, and then also some cyber tools. So we can't just expect them to find the alerts. We're going to be heavily dependent on the tools, and with the power of automation. I'm not going to hit on Security Copilot because we're still, ironing out some of the details. But with the help of a lot of these automation tools, it's doing a lot of the work for you. You're just adding that human factor to give that stamp of approval and that extra verification to it. And then finally, after you have your tools, which I guarantee most of you already have the first 4, all you need is the process and procedures. And that is what someone like me is here for. You all should have a security specialist. If you wanted to go the Microsoft route, we can help, spell this out for you, or you can utilize a partner, or you can just take the template out my PowerPoint I'm gonna give you all and say, hey, this is ours, and this is how we're gonna run our SOC. And I'm trying to speed through because I'm almost out of time. But oh yeah, I forgot the last piece. You gotta have students. Oh yeah, that is very important. Now, what Spelman College did is they partnered with their computer science department, and they also got some funds from financial aid to turn this into a work study initiative. But you have different options. You can partner with your computer science department. If you're K-12, you can utilize your CS students or TILs, possibly, if you have that in place, or you could just simply turn it into an elective for your students. Now, of course, I got to plug in Microsoft, but if you went the Microsoft route, which is always going to be my recommendation as a Microsoft security specialist, with Microsoft, instead of having those 10 different security tools, we get to bundle everything into a unified platform. You can utilize Microsoft Sentinel as a SIEM that we discussed, and all you need to do is bring in the students. So we bring all the tools, you bring the students, and together we create the process. And Microsoft, we love student SOC. So here's an example of how it would look. You come in and you have all these alerts. If you click on an alert from the Microsoft portal, we're going to give those students all the recommendations that they need to take to go through the alert, and then also how they can contain it and mitigate it from occurring in the future. So there's no guesswork. The students get to read what is on the screen and work through it. And with some of the exciting things coming with Copilot, it's going to make this piece even easier. But that's going to be another discussion if they allow me to come back. Hopefully they do. And then also within the Microsoft Learning Stack, we have a central learning hub where students can go through the process of learning about the different SOC tools, and then also simulating in an actual attack. So we can do some red team activities right from the console, and you can see how they respond, how well they did. Now, with that, I did want to save some. I wanted to save some time for any questions you all might have. I'm not. If you're already an A5 customer, you do get to bring in some of your Microsoft 365 alerts into Sentinel at no additional charge. So if you're already A5, you're 90% there. It's just a matter of us getting over to the next phase, which is getting the students and the processes. So
Awesome.
I do have a nice flyer that I'll share with you all. But go ahead. I think someone came off mute.
No, go ahead, Chelsea.
Oh, I have a nice flyer. If you're interested in this, I have a QR code. You can scan it at the end of this presentation. Sign up. We'll have an informational what you all tell you about it and how it can work in your school or organization. If you're not, feel free to share this flyer with someone who is interested, and let's help drive this initiative. And it's a competition. See what school can go first. Hopefully, let's see.
Oh, now
Awesome.
see, Chelsea,
There we
you
go.
you have been speaking my language this whole time. Okay, let's start with the presentation name. Stock it to me. That's like a good play on words. Okay, then you threw in Travis and Taylor. Then she throws in some competition like Chelsea. I mean, this This is right up my alley, girl.
Don't
I'm
forget
loving
Hey
it.
Professor
Arnold.
Thompson. Professor
I
Thompson.
mean,
is
look
here.
at the
Yeah,
doctor is in, y'all.
professor.
The doctor is in. What can you do?
We did get a question earlier about whether or not we're still going to be leveraging SMS for multi-factor authentication. So I know this probably is not super pertaining to the end part of your presentation here, and but I don't know if you have any insight on that or if we need to follow up later.
No. So you still can leverage it. I do think it is going to be. I cannot quote. We can stop the recording. It might be phasing out one day in the future. Is what it feels like. The same way we phased out passwords. It might be in a sunset phase, but you still can utilize your SMS as a method of authentication.
So Greg, any follow-ups to that, or does that answer your question? And Greg also said you're rocking this presentation, Chelsea.
Yeah, Greg.
So,
Greg has no questions. He's in awe.
Thank you. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm a fast talker,
That
so
answers-
hopefully.
yeah, he said that
Got
answered his question, so that's great. Any other questions we have out there? We have 3 minutes left.
I think we're good.
Okay.
And Chelsea, we just want to
There
say
is-
thank you again. Oh, did you have one more?
No, one more popped
Yeah.
in, more asking the audience, but has anybody phased out passwords yet? Has that happened anywhere yet? Do you know, could you share any stories of any customers that have